What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing a potential landing destination for DeMar DeRozan that has occurred over the last couple of hours, or last couple of days I should even say. Now, this is definitely not official news by any stretch of the means, and there is still a chance DeMar DeRozan doesn't go to this team, but DeMar DeRozan is going to land somewhere. I think for many people, he is now considered the best available free agent. So, for the teams that could still be interested in landing a big-time player, they might have to make some moves in order to make it happen, but DeMar DeRozan will go to a team, and I think it's as simple as that. Which team is it going to be? Well, we'll have to find out, but today, the team we're going to be talking about is the Sacramento Kings. An interesting development that has come up, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about DeMar DeRozan landing to the Sacramento Kings. Not official, but if it was to become official, what do you think of that team then? Do you think DeMar DeRozan can make a big impact on the Sacramento Kings? And where do you see things going for the Bulls as well in this certain situation? Now, I believe Sacramento's been in for a lot of our players as of late. Sacramento has had conversations around Zach LaVine, and it looks like now Sacramento has had conversations around DeMar DeRozan. I do believe since this financial situation isn't necessarily that free at the moment, the only way that this can work is via a sign and trade or a 3-team trade, ladies and gentlemen. So, in many ways, you should expect the Bulls to get something back in return for DeMar DeRozan if we were to let him go to the Sacramento Kings. Now, of course, DeMar DeRozan could probably just walk and sign a minimum deal or whatever the case may be, but I think it's very clear DeMar DeRozan does want to get a decent amount of money in this upcoming contract. So with that being said, there is a possibility we do get something in return. In fact, I would say there's a higher possibility we get something in return for DeMar DeRozan at this point in time compared to not getting anything for DeMar DeRozan in general. But you also need to take into consideration sign and trades don't often work out well for the team that is doing the sign and trade. That would be the Bulls in this case. We've seen what it did when we got DeMar DeRozan. We had to do that in a sign and trade. We gave up Thaddeus Young and I can't remember who else we gave up, but it was Thaddeus Young and 2 first-round picks. One of them, if we do play badly this season, this upcoming season, we get to keep. But with that being said, there is, of course, the Bulls gave up not that much to go and get DeMar DeRozan. So in this case, if we're giving up DeMar DeRozan, don't expect much in return. But expecting little is still better than expecting nothing. So that's the kind of situation that you could take out of it. But in many ways, here's how you're going to get something good from the Sacramento Kings, if it was to occur, of course. Number one, a player that is disgruntled with the Sacramento Kings. Whoever that may be, if there is anyone that's disgruntled at the moment with the Sacramento Kings and is complaining about their situation, well, that could be a place. The Bulls could be a place for them in many ways, and that's a way that you could get someone good from Sacramento. Let's just say, for example, I can't think of someone, but let's just say a player from Sacramento is just disgruntled, doesn't want to be there, is complaining. They want to bring in DeMar DeRozan, who is going to be a big quality player for them. Sign and trade, you get that player to the Bulls. Obviously, Sacramento will get DeMar DeRozan. That's the first instance. I think the second instance is when it comes to financial situations. We could get someone of decent value in return, depending on what DeMar DeRozan signs for. So that's another way we can go down. We could get a hefty contract in return if DeMar DeRozan signs a hefty contract with the Kings. Do you know what I mean in that standpoint? And the last way you could get something good is ultimately if a third team is involved. Sometimes to get sign and trades over the line, a third team has to be involved in order to get that done. Maybe the two teams working on a deal simply just can't get the deal done together, so they need a third party to contribute. Now, that is still a big outcome that could happen, and that could lead potential assets from the third team to come to the Bulls, with obviously Sacramento as well. That could definitely help us as a team, and we might also be willing, since we are working with a third team, let's just say it's the San Antonio Spurs, for example, because that was a rumor lurking around as a third team. we could potentially deal other guys like Nikola Vucevic and Zach LaVine all in that same trade. It could be a big trade that brews, that sends DeMar DeRozan to the Sacramento Kings, Zach LaVine to the San Antonio Spurs, and we could get some big draft compensation in return or something along those lines, or we could get expiring contracts, or we could get a disgruntled player. You could get all these things back in return, and that is something that can help determine our future. And all these things. Now, I personally, when I think of DeMar DeRozan with the Sacramento Kings, I don't know how it's going to work because I view Sacramento as a team that values its space massively. They've got Domantas Sabonis, that is a big post player and is also starting to spread the floor more by more each year. You obviously got really good three-point shooters around there. De'Aaron Fox, one of the clutchest players in the league last season and for the last couple of seasons as well, being the primary ball handler, playmaking and dishing it out left, right, and center. Their team kind of already has their way of playing and their style of playing, and I think it works for them for the most part. So bringing in DeMar DeRozan is going to be a dramatic shift for them, in my opinion. Now you're going to have someone that's going to impact your spacing, but you're also going to get someone that's going to be wanting to be a primary ball handler. How is that going to really work for the Sacramento Kings? I'm eager to see, but I also believe with the three-point shooting that they have around them, DeMar DeRozan can work very well with that team as well. So as long as it's not, let's just say, De'Aaron Fox, then DeMar DeRozan, then De'Aaron Fox, then DeMar DeRozan, I think that team could potentially work with DeMar DeRozan in it. But it still is a bit interesting. I'm not necessarily sure if that was the direction I could imagine the Sacramento Kings going down. I honestly thought if there was anybody on this Bulls team that would work with the Sacramento Kings, it would be LaVine. And it just makes, in my opinion, it makes little to no sense how they won't go in for LaVine compared to DeRozan. But maybe they feel they could get DeRozan on a cheaper contract and that will help them in the long run, which is a big possibility and something to keep in mind as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Sacramento it does seem to be the biggest landing spot for DeRozan right now. There is obviously more teams involved. I think the Lakers are still interested, but I don't think they have that much to offer DeRozan. Miami losing Caleb Martin, I believe. Or I think it's Caleb Martin. It could be one of the Martin brothers. I'm pretty sure it's Caleb Martin. He went to Philadelphia recently, so that's a big loss for them. And, you know, maybe they could try to make up that loss by bringing in a DeMar DeRozan. I'm not too sure. But we'll have to wait and see. Big landing spots, big destinations. Let's just hope DeMar DeRozan goes to the best place for him. Best place to compete, the best place to showcase his game. The last thing I want, even if he does leave the Bulls, I don't want him to go to a place where he's not going to feel appreciated, where he's not going to feel valued, and where he's not going to be able to show what he's capable of. He is a very good player. He was fantastic with the Raptors. He was very, very good for the Spurs. He's been really, really good for the Bulls. He's a terrific player, and that should be valued. And I'm excited to see where he goes and how much he's going to put on the Bulls' head next season in that regard as well. Hopefully it's not that many, because even though we might suck next year, I'd still like to have a little bit of good luck and good fortune in terms of facing older, I guess former teammates, not older teammates and stuff of that nature. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll wait and see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. And I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.